And the new trailer is not particularly good. It still has its problems. It's better than the original trailer, however. Here is some of what it looked like.
The trailer for Disney's Snow White just came out, and it's caused a huge reaction online, but not in a good way. With over 660,000 more dislikes than likes, people are angry. They're criticizing the over-the-top CGI, confusing storyline, and controversial casting decisions. Many fans feel it's a betrayal of the original classic. Is this the point where Disney's magic starts to fade?
Disney has botched this Snow White movie every way it's possible to botch the Snow White movie. So you'll recall that originally the Snow White movie starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, you'll remember that film had a trailer so awful that Disney had to completely...
From the moment Disney announced their live-action Snow White, it seemed like controversy followed the project. The first big backlash came when Rachel Zegler was cast as Snow White, which divided fans. While Zegler is a talented actress, many questioned if she was right for the role, pointing out the difference between her public image and the classic Snow White character. Things got worse when Zegler and her co-stars made comments about the original story. These weren't just opinions, but harsh criticisms that many fans saw as attacks on the beloved 1937 animated classic. In interviews, Zegler downplayed Snow White's romantic dreams, saying the character needed a modern update to feel more empowered. She even said that Snow White wouldn't be saved by the prince and wasn't interested in true love, which upset many fans who loved the original story.
No problem with what Disney are doing. You think this is progressive and inclusive, and all those moaning about it should shut up.
I think you should live in the 1930s, actually, Piers, because that's where you...
The co-stars also made comments that many people saw as mocking the charm and simplicity of the original characters. The production team stuck to their plan, saying they wanted to update Snow White for today's audience. This led to a lot of frustration from fans, who felt Disney was ignoring what made the story timeless and replacing it with a message-focused narrative. Fans didn't just want a new version of Snow White, they wanted a faithful adaptation with a fresh take, not a complete change.
This Disney remake. And now, because Peter Dinklage said what he said last year, now it's taken away. And it's taken away because of quote-unquote progression and all of that. And it's not really...
To make things worse, Disney's marketing strategy only added to the confusion. Instead of promoting the film as a fresh reimagining, the teasers felt rushed and gave audiences very little to go on. Each clip only added to the confusion and criticism. The controversy around the cast comments and online drama overshadowed everything. By the time the official trailer was set to release, excitement had turned into doubt, and doubt turned into dislike. What should have been a celebration of Disney's iconic story turned into a reminder of how much the studio had lost its audience. Disney's marketing for Snow White was confusing. When the official trailer was finally released, it wasn't available on popular platforms like YouTube. Instead, Disney limited its release to a few select theaters for a short time. This choice felt strange, almost like the studio was trying to keep the trailer hidden. Fans soon noticed and rushed to find the trailer, only for it to leak online in low-quality recordings. The leak, though unintended, sparked even more conversation. People wondered why Disney, known for big marketing campaigns, would make it so hard to access the trailer. This led to speculation that Disney was trying to avoid more public criticism since the project was already getting so much negative attention.
Like Snow White, they've just got a character named Snow White, but the story seems to be entirely different. Joining me now to discuss Disney seemingly destroying another classic is Turning Point USA contributor.
When the trailer was finally posted on Disney's official accounts, the response was huge, but not in a good way. Critics said that Disney's strategy of delaying the release had completely backfired. Instead of building excitement, Disney only created more doubt. People started analyzing every part of the trailer, focusing on its flaws. It seemed like Disney set itself up for failure by hiding what was supposed to win over the audience. This strange marketing approach didn't just hurt the film's reputation, it also showed a disconnect between Disney and its fans. Instead of addressing the criticism or embracing what made Snow White loved, the studio seemed to try avoiding the backlash. In the end, the trailer release felt more like an attempt to fix things than a celebration of a classic story.
I witnessed gay people being villains in movies when I was...
Seven dwarves aren't villains.
And that I think stereotypes are really important to
What stereotype
smash.
do you think
and
they
actually,
represent?
in the universe of Snow White, wouldn't it be better if dwarves
I don't feel this is...
When the Snow White trailer was finally posted on YouTube, the internet quickly shared its opinion. The response was fast and harsh. Within just a few days, the trailer had around 660,000 more dislikes than likes. This was a clear sign that audiences weren't just unimpressed, they were rejecting Disney's version of the film. The comment section turned into a treasure trove of sharp, biting humor lines like they finally made a movie no one will pirate. The reaction to the trailer was clear. Many people found it more entertaining than the movie would ever be. It wasn't just criticism. People were mocking it. The comments ranged from disappointment to brutal jokes, and the discussion quickly became more interesting than the trailer itself. For many, the trailer confirmed their worst fears. The visuals looked over the top, with CGI animals and dwarfs that seemed lifeless and fake. The colors were so bright that it felt more like a parody of a Disney movie than a real adaptation. Beyond the visuals, the trailer struggled with a confusing story. It tried to honor the original while also offering a modern twist, making it feel disjointed and unclear.
It was so fun. Oh my god, as a huge Disney fan, it was so exciting to finally get to go to D23. Yeah. I live on the East Coast, so I was never able to go, and also tickets sell out like in a flash.
The backlash wasn't just on YouTube. Social media was flooded with memes, reviews, and debates. Fans of the original film complained about losing its simplicity and charm, while others wondered why Disney even tried to remake it as a live-action film.
The response highlighted a growing frustration with Disney's recent trend of prioritizing spectacle and messaging over storytelling.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can.
The Snow White trailer tries to balance between honoring the original 1937 classic and offering a modern version. The result is a movie that feels stuck between two very different ideas, with neither fully working. On one hand, there are nods to the original, like vibrant visuals, scenes that remind fans of the classic, and familiar characters and themes. On the other hand, the modern take seems to be removing those classic elements to make way for a new, more progressive story.
And the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
The problem is that these two storytelling styles don't mix well, they clash. The nostalgic references feel empty because they're quickly overshadowed by modern themes that feel forced into the story. In the trailer, Snow White is no longer a kind, dreamy princess hoping for true love. Instead, she's shown as a strong, independent leader in the making, driven by ambitions from her late father. While it's fine to make Snow White a more complex character, this new version feels out of place compared to the original. The trailer portrays her as someone who rejects the values that made the classic story special, leaving fans of the original feeling left out.
I think it was good. I don't know.
Sizzle. We didn't see anything. Yeah. We're still waiting.
You see yourself as the evil queen. You are not evil. You are not evil. You're a queen, but you're not evil.
The same problem exists with the way the evil queen is portrayed. Traditionally, she's obsessed with her beauty and power, willing to do anything to keep them. In the new version, as shown in the trailer, she lacks the dramatic flair and depth of the original character. Her modernized motivations make her feel like a weaker version of the villain fans love to hate. This disconnect between the old and new leaves both groups of fans unsatisfied. Those who love the original feel like their memories are being ruined, while the new take doesn't fully commit to its modern themes. It's as if the film is trying to please everyone but ends up pleasing no one, a mistake often seen in remakes. One of the biggest complaints about Snow White is its disappointing visual effects. For a studio like Disney, known for creating cinematic masterpieces, the CGI in the trailer feels surprisingly low quality. The magical creatures that once brought Disney stories to life now look lifeless and fake. The woodland animals, so charming in the original, now appear as oversaturated digital models with no personality. The dwarfs fare even worse. Originally planned to be diverse magical beings to avoid casting dwarf actors, the backlash forced Disney to change their approach during production. The final result is a weird mix of hyperrealism and animation that looks strange rather than magical. Their faces lack the expressiveness and charm of the original characters, making them feel out of place in the film. This level of CGI feels like a step backward for Disney, especially when compared to their earlier work like the detailed creatures in the Chronicles of Narnia or the lifelike animals in the 2019 Lion King. Those films showed Disney's skill at blending technology with storytelling, while the CGI in Snow White seems rushed and uninspired, almost as if it was done just to meet a deadline instead of creating something magical.
My mom is the reason I'm a Disney fan.
Okay. Yeah. So did she make you watch all the video or the movies when you were little, like Disneyland?
Crumb on my face?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait. You did, but not.
The issues go beyond just the CGI. The set designs look cheap and fake, as if they were made with green screens, lacking the immersive feel that Disney fans expect. The costumes also don't impress, especially Snow White's dress, which has been heavily criticized for looking plastic. When compared to the elegant designs in films like Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast, it's clear something went wrong in production. Instead of enhancing the story, these visual elements bring it down, making the film feel like a low-budget imitation of Disney's past successes.
Crying on that stage.
When am I not crying in public? It's so upsetting.
Why were you crying?
Oh my gosh, I saw we didn't even see.
The performances in Snow White have also been a big topic of criticism, especially with Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot receiving the most negative feedback. Zegler, who plays Snow White, was already in the spotlight before the trailer came out because of her interviews. She openly criticized the original story and called its themes outdated, which upset fans who felt she didn't respect the legacy of the character she was playing.
And that's a really wonderful thing.
I'm always grateful, and I have to pinch myself for the love and the appreciation and the...
Rachel Zegler's performance as Snow White has mixed reviews. While her singing voice is impressive and she delivers her lines confidently, she doesn't fully capture the warmth and innocence that made Snow White so loved. Her portrayal feels too modernized, missing the gentle charm of the original character. This disconnect is made worse by her off-screen persona, which many fans feel doesn't fit the image of a Disney princess. Gal Gadot's performance as the evil queen is also dividing opinions. Disney villains are usually larger-than-life characters with lots of charisma and dramatic flair, like Scar in The Lion King or Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty. But Gadot's evil queen feels stiff and unconvincing. There's little of the obsessive vanity or cleverness that made the character so memorable. She comes across as a one-dimensional villain, just going through the motions. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments.